Okay, we're going live. It looks like a little over a minute late, today, but it is what it is. 5 o'clock starts are always a little bit tricky for me because people always want to call at the last minute and have something important to discuss, and they don't realize that I have a live broadcast to do, and they don't understand the term live. Oh, you mean that's going to happen right now? Well, yeah, it's kind of what that means, but it is what it is. And Lewis is in the house, and he was in first. He says black or white Explorer. I like them both. To me, that's a coin tosser. That's a coin toss. Maybe some other folks will chime in. Carlos says, let's see, great. Ken, are you happy with it? Did you ask for light polishing, and is it like new? Okay, I guess somebody had something serviced. Oh, I missed a bunch of comments. So folks were in hanging out early. Okay. UK shops are clean out of Grand Seco watches. Mighty Rat. Hi, Craig and all. Interesting. RE UK. Good for GS. Howdy, folks. Time for some quality program. Lewis in the house. Carlos says, hello, all. And what are you guys wearing now? I've got my King Seiko. It's been a lazy kind of day. I'm wearing an KX007. Yeah, I saw that photo. I haven't worn it in a while. How does one get a wrench? MD. You have to be vouched for by at least one member of the wrench gang, preferably two, who vouch for you, and then we'll get that done for. Let's see. Doug says been on my wrist for 3 weeks. Okay. Or ours, imagine you wearing that date 8. That's what he should be wearing. Life's too short. Wear the date 8, Carlos. Carlos, you should Skype in and show the collection. Absolutely. Lewis, now I'm in a beater mode. I miss it. Okay. Lewis, it's an orange Duxa. Is it an orange Duxa with some other color? I think it is orange. I think it is. Oh, yellow. Okay, I'm sorry. I get confused. I have my Explorer 2 Black for... I have my Explorer 2 Black from service on today. Let's see, are you happy with it? Okay, I'm wearing the mill gauze on a rubber strap. Saw a King Seiko Stunner today. I've got trigger finger. I hear you. Black 42 mil. I have large wrists. Okay. I've always appreciated the uniqueness of the mill gauze. There you go. I especially like the older ones. Carlos, it's great. I have been very close to purchase the white one twice. I did not go because it feels a bit thick. I understand it can be perfect for others. Too bad we can't upload pictures in the chat. Would love to see some of those stunners you all have. Email them to me and I'll show them. My name, CraigShipp@gmail.com. CraigShipp@gmail.com. We'll show them. Blue, live. We are live. Hello, Craig. Thank you for the frequent streams. We need it in these times. Carlos and us, we're doing our best. Lewis, I understand the general size and thickness of the spring drive has kept me from buying one so far. Spring drive technology makes the thickness of the case worth the trade-off. Well, and also the shape of the lugs. Let's switch to mine. The way those lugs kind of curve around the wrist and the way it fits to the wrist, even though that's a 14 mil thick watch, because it has the width, the 22 mil wide bracelet, and the shape of the lugs, it doesn't wear or look as thick as you might think. It really sits nicely on the wrist. Of course, this one's 12 mils thick, and you can see it sits very nicely on the wrist, the 005 stunner. We're going to talk about these stunners that are getting to be in shorter supply. There are starting to be some shortages on Grand Seiko, and we're going to talk about that. Let's see. Looking very sharp today. Oh, thank you very much. This is an oldie but a goodie. This is an old Oxford, is it Oxford and Company? What is their official name? Anyway, suit. By today's standards, the suit coat would be considered too long. I actually like a longer dress jacket. I like a jacket so that when I cup my fingers, it sits in the cup of the fingers, or it's almost like the length of the thumb. I like a longer jacket. These days, a lot of folks are wearing the really short jackets, almost up to their waist. And to me, it looks really goofy. You know, when your arms are like a lot longer than your jacket, and it looks like you got it in the boys department or something. So I think that's a little bit weird. But let me know in the chat what you guys think about that. These super short sport coats that they're wearing now and suit jackets that they're wearing now. Let's see, Carlos. Okay. I sent you an email. Kyle in the house. I'll take a look. The GS shape of the case makes it sit on the wrist so comfortably. Absolutely. And Cheetown's in the house. It's not rocket science, folks. A good watch case design is not rocket science. Yeah, but a lot of the designs out there are really hokey and ugly. I don't know why they keep trying to spring ugly watches on us. Let's try to pull up. Let's get to the email here, folks. Give me a moment. I will get to the inbox here, and I'll try to pull up some emails. Let's see. What's this? Oh. Hi, Craig. Last night we had Steve on the mic. Here's some discussion material for tonight's show. It ain't about the mag, it's about the magnificent. Okay. There you go. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, he's talking about the Milgauss. Yeah, no. I don't think we need the, you know, what I was saying in reference to the anti-magnetic properties, these watches generally don't magnetize. I've never had any of my Rolexes or Grand Seikos, anything magnetized. It just seems to be a non-issue. But again, I mean, maybe others have had different experience. But let's see, we got another email here. Give me a second. I'm going to check this first before I cut to it. I'll go ahead and read some of this. I'm a subscriber to your channel, and I like to catch the recorded video of your live streams. I wanted to say thank you for connecting me with Steve and making me fall in love with Grand Seiko. My daily wear is an 18-karat yellow gold Rolex Date 8, reference 18238. Hey, well, that's the watch I used to wear. Interesting story we got going on here. But I wanted to add a GS9F stunner to the rotation. I fell in love with the GS accuracy from your channel. The gold star on this new release 9F Grand Seiko caught my attention. I had to have it. It just blew me away. I reached out to Steve and we made a deal today. Whoa! Thanks Craig, and thanks Steve, and another happy customer from Little Treasury, Chris. So this is this gentleman is an attorney in Boston, Massachusetts. I didn't show the email because I don't want to show his email address and so on. But and this kind of triggered this conversation because I called Steve and I asked him about the stunner. Let's try to pull it up here. Give me another second. Let's try to pull up the stunner here. I got a lot of tabs I got to go through here. I'm sorry, but just bear with me a second here. Hang out a little bit in the chat. We will get to this. Okay, so this is the stunner. And I called Steve to ask him about it. I was actually considering locking and loading on one myself. I'm torn between this one and the 005 that I have. I love the 005, and thank goodness Steve told me that he sold the last one, and so I wasn't tempted to lock and load on one, but he might be able to get a couple more in. This is the limited edition, by the way. But this is underscoring, folks, that these are not going to be that easy to get. I can tell you right now that stunner that you see on the screen right now is going to be in short supply. So I'm giving you a heads up right now that if you want that, I would get on the list with a deposit so that you can get yourself one of those stunners, because they ain't going to be easy to get. All right, let's see here. Let me catch up on this. Oh, Clive's in the house. Okay, all right. So a vest, and by the way, Clivester, maybe we can set it up so that you can FaceTime in. Maybe I can get FaceTime running on my laptop and you can FaceTime in. I don't know. Maybe we can. I don't know why you won't. I hear you say that Skype overheats your computer. Come on. I use Skype all the time on my 2010 MacBook Pro. If it can run it, your powerhouses can run it. A vest and a vintage gold pocket watch would look good on you. Yeah, but it's too temperate here for vests. It gets too warm. It's, yeah, it'd be better off like up in Boston or somewhere like that. Cheetown, hi Carlos. Checking in with my SBGN005 on a NATO. Oh, I love that picture, David. Did I show one the other day here on the show? With the NATO? I think you sent me one. Maybe I've got one here handy. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can pull that up. If it ain't one thing, it's another, folks. Give me a moment here. I think I have it. Yeah, here it is. I starred this because I wanted to show this photo. This is cool. This is cool. That does look kind of neat. I'll tell you what, David really mixes it up with his 005. He goes with that leather strap from Grande Seco, the deployant strap. Now he's on a NATO, and soon in June, I think he said he'll have the bracelet back on it. But that does look stunning. I have to tell you, that does look stunning. Let's check the email one more time here and see if we have something else here. Oh, look at this. This is the new Grande Seco logo. I got to send that. I got to send that on to Carlos. I mean to Steve. I'm going to forward that to Steve right now. Yeah, trust me, folks. I get no respect from the Grande Seco people. You notice that entire show with Joe Kirk, he didn't mention me once. Not one word. Not that I'm bitter. And then when Steve asked him about the 002, he didn't say anything about, oh, yeah, we're going to do anything possible to get those two watches to you. Sorry for the delay. We're going to, it was like, okay, you didn't get the watches. Okay. I mean, I don't know. Is it just me? Am I a little bit too sensitive on this subject, folks? What do you think? Let me know in the chat what you guys think about that. Ugly watches. You wouldn't happen to be referring to those angular 1970s watches with integrated bracelets, would you? Oh my gosh, yes. And anything they're making now with integrated bracelet. Yes, the offshore, the roller, all those things. They're all ugly. Integrated bracelets are not the way to go, folks. Not the way to go. Not in this man's Navy. Blue Shirt Buddha. Ugly watches, you're referring to Tudor. Some of the Tudors, the hour hand. Why did they put that ugly hour hand on them? Why didn't they just use the Mercedes hour hand like some of them did? Why did they ever go to that ugly hour hand? What were they thinking? Well, it's quite simple. They weren't thinking. David Williams is in the house. And is it possible for GS to make a 38 millimeter spring drive because they have done it before? A 44 GS at 38 millimeter is doable. GS moves slowly when it comes to trends. It will be last to go back to small. And they should have never left small watches. That's not small, by the way. 38 millimeters, a good size watch. This one's 38.5 mils. That's perfect. And I've got a fairly good size wrist. I've got a 7.25 inch wrist in the wintertime, about 7.5 inch in the summer. I mean, no, 38 mil is a very reasonable size. They should always make that, and they should listen to people repeatedly asking for these things, just like repeatedly asking for micro adjustments on the bracelet. But they don't listen. Thank goodness, though, they do make some really good watches. I mean, we like to nitpick and complain, but my gosh, the watches are pretty fantastic. Thank goodness they can do that. They don't listen to their customers, and they how should I say, aren't the greatest at marketing, but they do make great watches. Tom says hi, Craig and all. Kevin D, what is the print on the 007 face? The 007, are we talking about Let's find it here. Are you talking about that watch? That just says Grand Seco. It has the little star. I don't know if that's what you were talking about. Craig, are you being sponsored by Seiko? No. I wish they would. Please write to them. Ask them to write me some checks. I'd love to get some checks from Seiko or Grand Seiko. Either one. Absolutely. Send money. I could use the money. I've got some clients that are on really hard time that are going to have a lot of trouble paying me because the government has straight up shut down their businesses. Just straight up. Half of my clients right now are totally shut down. Just shut down. Out of business. Just shut down. Half of them. Thank goodness for the other half. That's all I can say. Let's see here. Clive, I love your blue Oyster Perpetual. Oh, yes. Oyster Perpetual's great. 005 easily over that one, in my opinion. Tom Austin, I hear you. Hey. Hi, everybody. Carlos, hey. Blue Super Lewis. This market even makes Rolex look like a good investment. I'm on the sideline. I'm still waiting on the sideline. Yeah. But I'll tell you what. These Rolex speculators are going to take a hard hit, too, I think. They're going to take a hard hit. We live in Maryland just a couple of days, and it will be freezing cold again. Carlos, I have the black dial with the green glass and the Z blue dial as well. Craig refuses to show he's obsessed with mag properties over the fact that it's just plain magnificent. Well, but see, here's the problem is that Faraday cage that they put in there to make it anti-magnetic made the watch thicker. And that's, to me, that's a downside. There's no reason to have that additional thickness. That's the issue there. But if the additional thickness doesn't bother you, if it's good for you, I said I think it's a good-looking watch. I don't have any issues with it. It just wouldn't be the route I would go. I would go with a Explorer or an Oyster Perpetual or Datejust. Is what I would do in that type of a situation. Nice on that strap, says Carlos. 2018 for 3,500 pounds. Wish it was $3,500. Okay. Craig, that took some time. Kyle Jett in the house. What took some time? I'm sorry. What took some time? That's an awesome logo. Okay. Oh, the logo? Is that what we're talking about? Okay. The 60th anniversary 9F Stunner with the blue dial has a hidden secret in it. The dial says 2020 on it. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, where it's kind of hard to read in that textured background. I'm with you now. I'm with you, Leon. I'm a little slow, but I'm with you. The Mighty Rat. Thank you, Lewis. Man of taste. I love the Lightning seconds hand. Yeah, some people like that seconds hand. And Clive says no. He just says straight up no. I like a man of few words. I love the strap, and your Moser seems perfect for that watch. Yes, that imprints on the face. Okay. The SBGN 005, in my honest opinion, is much more versatile watch versus a Superman. GMT complication is a significant bonus. David Williams in the house. There you go, making the argument for the GMT function, and it's kind of cool. I'll grant you that. But the Superman, is that the one they call the Superman? Is it the other one? But anyway, that stunner there is also thinner, so we got to give them props for that. It's, I think, 10.2 mils thick, I think. So it's significantly thinner. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. Craig, I just sent you a picture of the King Seiko that is drawing me in like a Death Star tractor beam. Okay, well, let's check it out. Give me a moment here. Give me a moment while we switch to that mesmerizing second hand. Okay. All right. First, we got to do episode 2 of the Milgauss. Episode 2 of the Milgauss. Looks pretty cool. Looks pretty heavy duty. I gotta grant it that. Again, if you're in a situation where the thickness doesn't matter, where you're mainly wearing it as a sport watch, not getting it under a tight dress cuff, then yeah, go with it. Absolutely. You're not going to get a fight out of me on that one. Let's see. Let's check out this King Seiko Stunner. Ooh. Ooh, stunner alert. Stunner alert. Look at that. Look at the medallion on the back. That is cool. That is pretty cool. I guess it's a limited edition of 7,001 units, 4502. Yeah. Well, that's interesting for sure. That's interesting. Yeah. You're not going to get an argument out of me on that one. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Craig, hear me out. You would love the Tudor North flag. Strike 1, angular case. Strike 2, integrated bracelet. Strike 3, it's a Tudor. Oh my goodness. Just bought my first GS today. A snowflake, great watch. I've owned a few Rolex, JLC, IWC, etc. The quality is on par or better. And wait until you've worn that snowflake for a while. Wait until you get used to that comfort on wrist. And wait until you get used to looking at that second hand, the sweep of that second hand. You'll be like, you'll want to drop kick those other pieces. Drop kick them. Okay, what do you think of IWC? Okay, the IW 329005. Let's see. See if I can pull it up. Bum, 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 bum. Give me a moment here. Give me a moment. Okay. Yeah, I would pass. I would pass. I think it looks funky with that thing on the other side, the opposite side of the case from the crown. I think it looks kind of funky. And I think it just looks a little bit funky. I think there are competitive options that I would dive into before that. Like there's a whole bunch of Grand Seikos in that price range that I would dive into before I would go that direction. Okay, pass on the King Seiko. Buy new, forget vintage. Durr in the house. You know, that's interesting that you brought that up because when I heard Joe Kirk talking about the you know, when he took out a vintage watch and it got kind of like some condensation under the crystal, he was out on a humid day or whatever, rainy day or whatever. Yeah, that reminded me that I like wearing watches that are in great shape and that function and that I don't have to worry about. I'm not a big fan of wearing watches that have seen better days. I'll put it that way. So yeah, I kind of agree. Wear a nice solid, you know, relatively modern piece that's in really good shape. I think that's the way to go most of the time. Any Omegas of interest, first and second choices. So we already talked about the Bond watch, the original Bond watch, the that's a quartz that's nice and thin, about 12 mils thick. I think Durr has one. That's a fantastic, affordable piece. If somebody wants an affordable, wear all the time, well, affordable is relatively speaking, right? They're around $1,500 on eBay in nice shape. That could make a really great all-arounder watch at a decent price point. Buy one in really good shape, I think. So there you go. Clivester, I think the 116000 is a hell of a watch for 4K US dollars. There you go. Let's see. Shape of the original, secondhand, way back from, okay. Omega Seamaster Pro 300M or the Speedmaster Moonwatch are the only pieces I'd go for. Yeah, and I would pass on the Moonwatch. I'd just go with the 300M. Let's see. Hi, Craig. I have a small wrist, so need a smaller watch. What do you think of putting a GS Elegance Collection small dial spring drive on a third-party strap for daily wear? They've got some really nice manual wind models that have come out that are spring drive that are decent size. I would look into them. I would look into some of those watches. I would get one of the manual wind spring drives if you can get it on a strap and just go that way. That would be my solution if you can find it. I'd talk to Steve as soon as possible. Remember, there are shortages and it's going to get worse. It's a valley. Just keep looking forward. For God's sakes, don't look down. It's dark down there. When this is over, we will not see these prices again. There you go. Leon, you want an ugly watch? Take a look at the Omega 40th Anniversary Apollo 17 Speedmaster. Gosh, that's ugly. What is it with Omega and their million Speedmaster limited editions? I hear you. Would like to see Craig, Archie, and Clive do a live stream. There you go, Blue in the house. Craig, look up the SGBA 409. SPGA 409. Did I read that right? For some reason, nothing's coming up. SGBA. Yeah, SGBA 409. That's what I did. SGBA 409. Huh, I'm not getting anything. Interesting. I'm not getting any results on a Google search. Not feeling it. Not feeling it. Okay. Very nice, unique watch, Blue Milgauss. Okay. I spoke to a sales today. He said that most watch shop owners are wealthy enough to wait for the economy to bounce back. With this economy, it's the sales who is probably going to lose their job. Oh, you mean the salesman? Hi, randomly jumping in. Can you tell me what's going on? Is it a bid? No, I don't think so. Are you selling these items? No, sorry. No, we're not. We're just talking. We're just hanging out, talking, having fun. On a scale from 1 to eating chips in your mom's basement, how do you rate Tudor? Whoa. Brianna, the lovely Bree. The lovely Brianna is in the house. We have 42 live listeners. She's in the chat. Hi, Bree. And if you want to Skype in, you're always welcome. Lewis R is in the house. The 44 GS case on that King Seiko was designed to be thin. It looks off on a modern GS, too thick. You need to check out Ball Automatic, okay? Hi, Brianna, says Blue. Hello, Bree, says Carlos. Are you giving the live belly dancing class to Craig? Sometime we're going to do that. We're going to have to do that. She's going to have to try to teach me how to belly dance. That's going to be a real joke. Durr's in the house. If that IWC and Tudor had a child that would give birth to crappy luxury watch, hopefully that King Seiko has been serviced. The date wheels on these watches tend to break, and it's hard to find that part. Uh-oh. It may be a minority, but I prefer a GS with a solid case back and solid gold medallion over display back. Also might be thin. I agree with you. I don't think a display back is really needed. We know how great the movements are. I don't need a display back. I agree with you. I'd rather not have a display back. Neither one of my watches have display backs. Neither one of my Grand Seikos. I like the Omega Snoopy, but how did it become so crazy expensive just having the Snoopy image on it? A brief fit dance. The live class could occur within the next month, but the live class could occur within the next month, but would be exciting. Okay, not sure what she means by that. Could occur. Okay. I bought the 007 9F Stunner from Steve. Does that give me a wrench? CL. And I think that's your real name because you emailed me and all. So we'll give you a wrench right now. Absolutely, we'll give you a wrench. You get a wrench for buying that watch. Let me see here. Add moderator. Bam. Just like that. Belly dancing class. Okay. Don't forget about Planet Ocean. Excellent watch. There you go. The Ball Watch Company has a great history. I think the engineer Marvelite is a good watch. In-house movement, good price point. There you go. Let's see. Thank you. I'll ask those questions. Okay. Clive, does import tax occur with second-hand sales? Sorry, I haven't bought overseas before. GS needs to release less limited editions and create fixed model ranges like Rolex does with Submariner Digest. Exactly, Cheetown. That would be wise to do that. It would be very wise to do that. To have like a core product line that everybody knows and loves. Absolutely. They have a few. The Diver's watch is pretty consistent. The Snowflake is pretty consistently available. So they have a few, but you're right. Absolutely. But see, and Joe did kind of explain that a little bit. They are, let's face it, a limited production operation. They've got a very limited number of watchmakers. So really, almost all of their watches are kind of limited production in a way. I mean, they just can only produce so many watches. And I'm sure they produce more Snowflakes than anything else because that's the one that's in most demand. But, you know, they do want to have a nice selection of watches available, so there's kind of something for everybody. So I guess from that standpoint, it does make sense for them to do like a production run of a certain type of watch and then do a production run of a certain type of watch. And if they want to call them a limited production, that's fine. But, I mean, it's not like they can do like Rolex and make a whole bunch of different models because they just don't have the production capacity that Rolex does. Rolex is a mass-produced watch. I mean, Grande Seiko is far from that. So that's an issue. Let's see what else we've got going on here. Craig, sorry, SBGA 409. Oh yeah, I think we've seen this watch before. Yeah, that's a stunner. I mean, absolutely, that's a stunner. If you like green, my gosh, yes, that's a stunner. And somebody says they've got one in stock. There you go. Stunner alert. Another stunner. Stunner alert. Let's see here. What else? Craig, I just sent you 3 pics. Okay, let me see those. And Brianna, let us know in the chat if you're going to call in or just call in. I'll hear it ring, I think, if you Skype in. But if you're having trouble Skyping in, just let us know in the chat and we'll figure it out. Oh, yeah. Look at that piece. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice and flat on the wrist. Absolutely. That's a hell of a lot of watch for the money, too. You buy one of those on eBay. That's a hell of a lot of watch for the money. Yeah. Yeah. I say so. Let's see. The Wrench Gang has significantly grown in size since the last stream. I was able to make Tom Austin in the house. The belly dance class will be epic. It would rival Austin Daniels' drunk stream. Okay, Craig, what's the status of the new day date and the trip to Rolex with Bree? Derek in the house. The Rolex AD is shut down. They're shut down. So that's the status of all that. So we won't know anything until they reopen their doors. The beauty of the vintage Rolex Air King is no date to mess up. There you go. That's a good idea. I like no date. I like that. David Williams, you're correct. The Planet Ocean is a very awesome diver. I would absolutely wear a Planet Ocean as well. Thanks, Ray. I appreciate the help and entertainment. You run a great channel. Well, thank you, my friend. And I'll send pics once I get it from Steve. Absolutely do that. And Kyle, I love my 1988 Air King. No date is great sometimes. I think no date is great most of the times, to tell you the truth. Dur's in the house. Teddy did a pretty good video on ball the other day. Okay. Kind of odd question, but which performs better, Citizen Eco Drive versus Seiko Solar? That'd be a good question. That'd be a real good question. I just don't know the answer to that. Maybe some other folks will. I can't get on board with a brand that has a model called Ball. Ball Skin Diver. Okay. T-Con, the correct answer is who cares, LOL. The Mighty Rat, go slowly and take your time in the King Seiko search. Lots of polished turds where movement and hands are thrown together. Always get several pics of the movement. There you go. There's a nice heads up. And T-Con says, I care. Nice. T-Con, the correct answer is by Grande Seco. Yeah. Mighty Rat, that Omega is much better than the Ice Puck Seiko tuna you subjected us to earlier in the week. That tuna is pretty bulky, pretty big and thick, isn't it? It wouldn't be my choice, but some people like a big, bulky, thick, bulbous watch. Kyle's in the house. My Eco Drive runs about plus 1 second per month. Really good. Leslie has one as well, and it's super accurate as well. Speaking of accurate, there you go. There's a piece that's super accurate, and it doesn't even have a battery in it, or solar, or a capacitor or anything, but the mainspring storing the energy. There's really something. Okay, guess who got banned from the nastiest channel on YouTube? This guy. Wait, who got banned? BU Serve got banned from somewhere? I said, you've been well behaved on this channel. Somebody said that you've been trolling places, and I said, but you've been well behaved on this channel so far. And Dur's in the house. The Mighty Rat, modern tuna is greater than King Seiko. Grand Seiko is 4 times the price of a Solar Seiko SSC 663. Well, there you go. You can buy a nice 9F Grand Seiko on eBay for probably around $700, a decent one. So I think that would be a good move if you want to go for the affordable. Joe didn't answer, but GS also shut down due to COVID, but is GS also shut down due to COVID, or are they still operational? He didn't say. He didn't say. And I haven't heard anything. I'll probably be the last to know anything about any of this stuff. I mean, I get no respect from the Grand Seiko people. Zero. This is how much respect. Oh, I just bumped my. How can I get these both on camera? There you go. Dual zeros. That's how much respect I get from the Grand Seiko folks. Not that I'm bitter. Not that I'm bitter. Let's see. Craig, what do you think of a 2-line Submariner 14060M? Yes. Get one in really good shape. Original owner, box and papers. Can't do any better. That'd be a good one. Can't Skype in, but making some amazing content to come soon. Thanks for the mention and stay healthy and positive. Okay, Bree in the house. I wonder if you ever fixed your internet. Did you ever get your internet hooked up with the cable there? Let's see. What do you think about Steinhardt in general, about homage watches? I had a Steinhardt. I have a review here on the channel. It was a pretty good watch for the money. And I have no issue with homage watches. If you like it, buy it. If you'll wear it and it meets your needs, buy it. I would also like to have an Apple Watch someday. Bree Fit Dance in the house. Yeah, why not have an Apple Watch? Brianna's in motion, making things happen. Sending text messages, receiving text messages. She's very popular, of course. So, yes, an Apple Watch for Brianna. Yeah. Dur's in the house. T-Con, when you're talking about a couple of $100 watch, just buy what you want. You're not getting high quality in that price range. You're talking about seconds here. Okay. I got banned from Archie. Oh, well, how in the hell did that happen? And by the way, when you get banned, don't you mean blocked from the chat? You can still watch his videos, right? You just can't participate in the chat. Is that correct? Is that how that works? You just get kind of blocked from the chat? Let us know in the comments, be a serve, if that's what happens. Nick's in the house. Hi, guys. Is leather strap plus clean dial only for formal attires? That's a very good question. I think that you can wear a nice, elegant watch on a leather strap in almost any occasion. I think, let me pull up the 002 Stunner as a point of reference. I think you could wear that easily with like a polo shirt and jeans or whatever. I mean, you could wear that in any circumstance. And people say, well, you know, if it's summertime and your wrist is sweating, you know, it's hard on the leather strap. Well, you know, if the leather strap eventually starts coming apart and giving trouble or whatever, you replace it. It's still going to last years. I think you can wear that in any kind of a circumstance. I really do. I don't think you'd want to swim with it and go in the hot tub with it and things like that. I think that'd be abusive of that strap and all. But other than that, I think that you could wear it in a lot of circumstances. Yeah, people used to do it all the time. Bracelets were kind of unusual. Most watches were on straps back in the day. So, yeah. Louis R. says, I thought he was just de-wrenching you. Craig, with the promotional bids and streams... Craig, with the promotional bids and streams, I vote you get a big deal on that 002. GS should gift you on. You help them sell a lot of watches, I bet. Blue in the house. I don't think they care. I mean, I haven't even gotten a phone call from them saying, hey, thanks. I mean, hey, thanks a lot. You know, I mean, much less a watch. Yeah, you know. Now, I did get invited to New York to that event, but I think that was because of Steve. I think he was the impetus for that. I don't think it had anything to do with Grande Seco. So, no, they could give a rat's rear end about this channel. I've invited them to Skype in, to, participate in the channel, to email me information. I said I'd be happy to talk about it on the channel. If you email me information, anything like that, nothing. Crickets. I've heard nothing. Nothing. So, yeah, they could care less. Let's see here. Thought he was just okay, Craig. Okay. Bree says, I tried calling, but they didn't answer because they had a lot of clients in the line. Bree Fit Dance trying to call Comcast. Well, you got to be persistent, young lady. Call early in the morning before other people get up. Maybe that'll work. Craig to GS is like Rodney Dangerfield to Caddyshack. He didn't get no respect. You got that right. You got that right. Leon's in the house. If you want an avoid, I'm not that I'm bitter. I mean, I was told Steve would get 2 002s by the end of the month. That'd be the end of last month, March. Okay, March. All right. By my best estimate, we're in April right now. Okay, we're in April. And I don't see any 002 stunners laying around. I don't see any 002 stunners laying around in Maryland for me to pick up and see, touch, and feel and possibly buy. I just don't see it. Don't see it happening. Not that I'm bitter. Let's see here. If you want an affordable 9F from Grande Seco, then look for the pre-2018 Seiko branded Grande Seco. Same quality. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No respect at all, says Blue. Although the question wasn't asked directly, I was disappointed that Joe seemed to think a smaller SD diver isn't in GS's plans. Yeah, it's like I say, it's disappointing that they don't take more seriously what everybody's been asking for. Tons of people have been asking for this. It's not like it's something from left field. They should have discussed this internally, and they should have answers to this situation. So, yeah. Yeah, we got kind of some half-baked answers about that, if you ask me. Half-baked. I got de-wrenched and then hidden. Yeah, so that just means that you can still watch, you just can't participate in the chat. I think that's what that means. Correct me if I'm wrong. Viewer serve, what did you do? Someone paid? What did you do that got you de-wrenched and banned? His content has been horrible for almost 2 years now. They're in the house. Even more impressive, getting banned when you give Archie money. You serve. Okay. Did you infiltrated and muted all the donors? Tom Austin, smaller watches in general don't seem to be a priority for GS overall. A too big watch is too big no matter the brand. Well, but here's the thing, though. They have come out with some nice trim manual wind watches. I mean, that watch is a perfect example. It's only 10 mils thick, and it's a reasonable size for a dress watch in this day and age. So they've come out with some nice trim pieces, and that is a spring drive. Now, it's a manual wind. In order to get that thin, I think they went to manual wind, but at least they seem to be making some efforts to do something. So we will see. We will see. Hey, Craig, can you explain the hate towards a rose gold watch? I like them because I hate the attention and gaudy statement from bright yellow gold watches gives. Derek in the house. No, I think that the rose gold is still going to get attention. It's still going to look like gold. It's just the color's off. And I don't see any benefit in doing that. I think that yellow gold watch is very classy. The yellow gold Day Date that I wore for years, I wore several of them, and they're very classy. They look great. You should be dressed nice when you're wearing something like that. The rest of your attire should be nice to kind of match, and any accessories you have, like if you have a pen, it should be yellow gold also to match. But yeah, yellow gold's the way to go, because then everything can match and everything's going to look great. Yeah, rose gold is there's no reason to pay for gold and get some funky color that's not correct. So yeah, I would pass on the rose gold. I hope that clarifies. Lewis, they are probably trying to cater to U.S. market as more people over here have men-sized wrists than Japan and China. Yeah, there are some smaller Grand Seiko models that are sold in Japan that are Japan market-only watches. That's definitely the case. I mean, that dress watch I had was a Japan market-only watch, and it was smaller. So they do have some. Let's see, I can imagine Bioserve's revenge. Okay. Disappointing for me. I have to look elsewhere for a diver to get a perfect fit. Tom in the house. Tom, stick with the 005. You're good. The 005 you don't need a diver. You don't need it. You're good. You got a screw down crown on the 05. You can do what you need to do, I think. Craig, you have convinced me. I'm going to put one of my Grand Seikos on a 1950s style metal expansion band. It's time to bring the 50s back. There you go. Yeah, those Spidell bands, that you could twist around. Those are actually kind of cool. I think that'd be kind of retro, kind of cool. Dina Scott, my Grand Seiko 25th anniversary SBGV 238 is running around 1 second a year error. I wonder if the new Citizen Caliber 0100 watch that is claimed to be 1 second a year actually runs at that error rate. Good question. My 005, this one right here, is within a second of when I set it. I mean, it's just insane. I've had it, I don't know, running for like 6 months. It's like within a second. So yeah, that's insane. Let's see. Craig, you should be invited to go see GS in Japan as a representative of a large, interested consumer base. Get a live report from the GS factory. I have now. I was invited to go to Japan. That is true. I was invited to go to Japan and tour and do that with Steve. I told him I just can't take the time to do it. I just can't take the time off. I just can't afford it. So, just to take that much time. But it would be super fun. And if I retire and I no longer am working and have clients to service and things like that, it would be interesting to do. So, yeah, hopefully I will do that someday. But I just can't take the time to do it, So, and now they wouldn't be doing any of that, of course, with all this virus thing and all that. Everything's been canceled anyhow. So, I was only joking about the tuna. I have one myself. I just sent the picture evidence to Craig. Mighty Rat. Okay, let's check it out. But I still think it's a bulky watch. Yeah, I agree that it's a bulky watch. But some people like bulky watches. Some people like bulky watches. Oh, no. No. That's just not right. That's just not right. Come on. That's not right. Oh my gosh, let's check this other email. Oh, he sent the same thing twice. Okay, so that's it. Yeah. That was low down. Even for this group, that was low down. Coming up on an hour, folks. Just like that. You imagine how time flies? We don't even have any commercial breaks in this show. No commercial breaks. Would you recommend anything for male pattern baldness? Take those pills they have. Those, I think it was called Propecia, but it's generic now. And I do take one every day. I got a prescription for those pills years ago, and I take one every day. My hair is still pretty thin on the top, but I'm sure it helped because by age 45, my dad was completely bald. So now it will not make your hair any thicker. It will just help you not continue to lose any more hair. It will not put hair back that's already lost. But those pills supposedly are proven to work as far as maintaining what you have, at least in most cases. In many cases, they help. So I think that's the only real thing. I think the rest of the stuff out there is all snake oil. Let's see. No worries, Mighty Rat. I'm hoping that GS comes out with a spring drive equivalent Rolex Explorer, but in titanium. I'd be all over a watch like that. That would be kind of cool. I'd like to go to GS Japan with you if you get an invite from GS, and I'll put in a word for 2002 stoners. Yeah, that might be what we're going to have to do. We might have to rush the factory and say, make 2002s for us, people. It's pretty amazing that they said that there's only been 3 in the United States so far. It's supposedly a regular production watch. It's not a limited production watch, supposedly, right? So there's only been 3 in the country. So if Steve does get 2, that will be pretty cool, I say. Male pattern baldness is what happens when you wear Tudor and watch the crappy luxury show. Baldness is a curse. George Costanza. Okay. Chip, it's God's way of telling you to go back to Rolex Date 8 is the GS002. Everybody wants me to go back to a Date 8. I tell you. I mean, I would say the last year that I had my Date 8, I wore it maybe a dozen times. I mean, it was insane. Trust me, I didn't, it wasn't a snap decision to sell that piece. I bought it new, for gosh sakes, right? But it just got to the point where it was a chore to wear it. I had to take it out. I had to wind it. I had to set the day and the date. And then I'd wear it for a day or two and I'd say, I can't even read the damn thing. I look at it and I can't even read it. And I'm like, it just got frustrating. And so, yeah, I don't keep watches around just to keep them around. Trust me, if my eyes were still good and I could read the thing with no problem, I would have never sold it. I mean, that's the rub. That's the reason why I sold it. So for those of you that are younger and have good eyes, or are my age and you're lucky enough to have great eyes to read a watch without any glasses or anything, then yeah, I highly recommend it. I mean, I wore it for 40 freaking years. I mean, why would I not recommend it? But right now I'm just looking for a limited use dress watch that I'll wear from time to time. That's real easy to just wind up and set the time, and just something different. And that's why I'm intrigued with the 002. But again, I might see it and I might say, well, nah, this really isn't that great. It doesn't really excite me, in which case I'll just pass on it and keep with what I've got. With what I've got is working fine. This watch here, okay, just to give you an idea, is 10 times more readable than my Day Date was. And even this is not anywhere near as readable as the 231. The 231 I can read in the freaking dark without my glasses. I mean, it's just insanely legible, right? And I do buy my watches to use to tell time. Imagine that. That's what I actually use them for. So, yeah. Let's see what else we got going on here. Let's see. GS hired. By the way, Bitcoin was pumping earlier and then it pulled back some. Let's see if we can pull up the latest price. If we can. Dun, 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 dun. Well, if that loads in, I'll show you. Anyway, it was pumping up. I think it was over $7,000. And then it pulled back down below 7,000 again, 6,700, something like that. So it was really volatile today. Had quite a pump up and then a pullback. So interesting. The exciting times of Bitcoin continues. And right now it's at, looks like 68.50. It says it's unresponsive. The hell's wrong with this thing? Let's try to reload again. Try to reload again and see if we can get a full reload on that. And then we'll cut back and see what the latest is. Craig, have you ever had a manual wind watch? Most don't have hacking / stop functions, and I know a guy who cares about time as much. I think the 002 does have hacking. I think it does. Can somebody double check that for me? It'd be nice if somebody could double check that, but I think it does have hacking. It would be nice. It would be nice to have hacking. I agree with you. I agree. But to answer your question, it's been a long time since I had a manual wind watch. I have had a manual wind dress watch before. And for a dress watch, it doesn't bother me, especially one with a really long power reserve like the 002. Because typically I'd only be wearing it for a couple days at a time anyway. So yeah, it wouldn't bother me one bit, just the fact that it's manual wind. Now, if it doesn't have hacking, that could be an issue. Craig, those hand-wound spring dries are great, but super expensive precious metals or limited production, not really accessible. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're having trouble accessing 002. They're not easy to get, if that's what you mean. Yes, they're very hard to get. I'll agree with that. What are your thoughts on everyone selling their watches because of COVID? I think a lot of people are panicking and selling a lot of things. I think they're selling, the stream crashed? I'm saying live here. It's showing live on my end. If it has crashed, I think we might be done for the day. But it still says live on my end. My 005 is 0 seconds a year after 10 months. Yes, they're very, very accurate. I'm sure Steve appreciates your efforts on behalf of GS. Yes, Steve does. Steve has given me positive feedback and has been appreciative. Tom says, LOL, Craig did get to a very limited VIP event for Grand Seco, New York a while ago. Yes, I did. The short lugs on the tuna make it wear well on the small wrists. Wow, the mighty rat. I'm sorry, just could not resist. No harm. I'm approaching 30 and still have my hair. Hopefully it stays that way. Well, if you start taking those pills, it will. My dad was bald at 45, also was due to me. And two, the tuna, okay, fair play. Crappy, damn. I agree, Craig, you need a day date. No Rolex day date, Craig. You're already spoiled by the GS accuracy, correct? That is correct. Morning all. Okay, I'm trying to get caught up on these comments. Craig, we wear day dates to keep the ladies around. We keep a cell phone in our pockets to tell the time. Get a day date. I don't use my phone to tell time. I don't do that. I use my watch to tell time. To me, it's awkward to have to grab a phone to check the freaking time. I mean, I never got that concept. People say, I don't need a watch, I got a phone. Well, the phone is, that's not what I use my phone for. What year was your day date from? I bought it new in early 2000. Craig, if you had, my most recent one that I had, I've had several. Craig, if you had to choose a different gold GS other than 002 or the quartz one you had previously, which would it be? That would probably be it. I don't think I would go for any of the others. There are some others that I do like, but not that I would actually buy, I don't think. Tim, Craig's last day date was a silver doll, 18238. Yes. Maybe you would feel differently about the brand new day date. Kyle in the house. Wouldn't be able to read that any more than the other one. Not really. Craig gets the ladies without a day date. There you go. Craig, have you ever had a Patek? No, I have not. The stream is still working here, says Mighty Rat. Be a serve 555. Craig, it's just a pain in the tutor to set a watch accurately without hacking. I could spend that kind of cash on a piece. I couldn't spend that kind of piece. Yeah. Can somebody confirm? I think the 002 does have hacking. Can somebody confirm if it does? The QE and more to come portends a good future for BTC. We will see, but I think we go through a real rocky time. There are weak hands. There are a lot of people that will sell just because they have very weak hands. There's the latest. It's 68.10. So we could have some significant sell-offs. It could take a while for Bitcoin to really come into its own. But I think, obviously, I'm betting on it because I have a strong hand. I'm holding for the long term, so obviously I'm betting on it long term. But there could be some rocky patches between now and then, is I guess what I'm saying. Late to the party, by the way, Craig. Think you might be right about Chip Wong. He sent me a Snapchat of himself drunk dancing around his gold bars, talking about hiring a troop of dwarves. There you go. For his entertainment, he's been corrupted with power and money. It's sad. Well, there you go. What happened to my wrench? Triforce Rich. Some folks said that you've been trolling, that you've been caught trolling, and they suggested that your wrench be revoked. Some members of the wrench gang. So you better do some lobbying with members of the wrench gang and make sure that you're in good standing, Triforce Rich, and maybe we will reissue that wrench. But we have to have at least 2 members vouch for you at this point, because we had a member come forward, and I'm not going to say who, that said that you have been trolling and that your wrench should be removed. So we're very, very cautious about wrenches on this channel. Durr's in the house. We agree on Tudor. Guy in work bought one on the advice of his dealer, and every lunchtime told me about its investment potential. Oh my gosh. The Nautilus 5711 doesn't have hacking as far as I know. Yeah, well, I would pass on a Nautilus anyway. I don't buy ugly watches, so I would pass on a Nautilus anyway. Chip Wong is a fake person. Uh-oh. And Triforce Wrench says, no, he's not. Okay, so someone made up Chip Wong. I vote for Triforce. BU Serve votes for Triforce. Okay. Let's see if we can get somebody else. Tom Austin, the local BTC broker I signed up to appears to have gone out of business. What do you mean local BTC broker? And be careful. If you buy Bitcoin, you should control your own private keys. You shouldn't rely on a third party. I hope he wasn't holding your Bitcoin. I hope that's not what you mean. Always control your own private keys of your Bitcoin. Always control your own Bitcoin. Don't trust a third party. Cheetown, Craig, how is the Spyderco Delica 4 to use? I use mine all the time to open boxes and stuff like that. It is fantastic. A great knife to have around the house. LOL, laughing out loud, troll detection. The mighty rat. Speaking of knives, my buddy that was here visiting earlier, I always carry the Scientist. This is my favorite EDC knife. This is the Victorinox Scientist. They're extremely rare. You know, good luck finding one, right? They're extremely rare. But they're nice and trim, and they have the 10x magnifier. Okay? And they have, what I really like is the straight out Phillips, the one that goes straight out, not the one that comes out like this, right? They have the straight out Phillips. Of course, they have the corkscrew, which we always need. And it has a little tiny jeweler's screwdriver in there. And it has a ballpoint pen and a toothpick. And ballpoint pen, a toothpick. There's the toothpick. Oh, it has two toothpicks. I'm sorry. So it has that tweezers. I'm sorry. Tweezers, toothpick, and a ballpoint pen. Okay, and then it has the combination tool, right? All right, what's really cool is my buddy came and visited. He knows I love the Scientist, and he actually has one too. We got him back in the day. This is a very rare model. It was like 1980 or something we got them, and they only made them for a short time, and they're extremely rare. But anyway, he was at a knife show or something, and he stumbled across a customized Scientist. This is a Scientist, this exact same watch, knife, which somebody put these custom scales on, and they did a really good job. Let me get a close-up of this. They did a really good job, and he saw it, and it's the exact same knife. It's a Scientist. And he bought it, and he's been holding on to it ever since. And it's cool. Now, it does not have the corkscrew on this backside. Instead of that, it has a little pair of scissors, right? A little pair of scissors, which is okay. So it's a slightly modified Scientist. It's nice and trim, right? And I thought that was really nice of him to secure that and bring it as a gift today. I helped him out with a few computer things, and he gave me that. It's even more trim. It's even more trim than the actual Scientist. It's even thinner than the actual Scientist. I think I'm still going to carry the actual Scientist because having the corkscrew does come in handy. But it's kind of cool that he was thoughtful enough to do that. Okay. Let's see. What did Triforce Rich do? I haven't seen him trolling anywhere. Okay. Triforce said, I made a joke about colors to profession once, and I think that qualifies as trolling. Okay, so let's give it a few more broadcasts, and if everyone agrees that Triforce Rich should be given another chance, we'll reissue a wrench to him. Chip Wrong showed me his tax return. He donated $5,000 to Trump in 2016 campaign. Okay. I don't know why he's going around showing people his tax return, but okay. CraigShip, buying shares in Bitcoin is different to owning a coin, right? Yes, yes. If you buy Bitcoin, you should actually own the Bitcoin. Yes. And you should have it in your own wallet. You can get wallets on your phone. It depends on how much Bitcoin you have as to how I would recommend storing it. But you can get from I think it's blockchain.info. I mean, there's a wallet. I would do some searching and some researching around and find the top recommended wallets and pick one that allows you to maintain your own private keys. That's what's important, so that you actually control your Bitcoin. Now, once you get to the point where you've invested a significant amount in Bitcoin, I use a hardware wallet. It's called a Trezor hardware wallet, and you buy it directly from them. Don't buy it from some third party. Buy a Trezor, Trezor, I believe, hardware wallet, and then use that to store your Bitcoin. That's pretty safe, even if you have a couple $1 million worth of Bitcoin. That should be a pretty safe way to store your Bitcoin. Now, if you've got like 50,000 worth or something, you could even keep it at Coinbase on the exchange. Coinbase is insured. You could keep it on Coinbase, but technically that you're not holding your private keys then. You're taking a risk that Coinbase is going to be solvent, and they probably are. They're a pretty big operation, and it's probably pretty safe. But once you get up into several $100,000 worth of Bitcoin or $1 million worth of Bitcoin, you might want to consider at that point a hardware wallet, something like a Trezor. Trezor, I believe is how it's spelled. Google it, you'll find them. Have Chip Wong call in live. I don't think that's going to happen. Blue, I've tried to get him on. Craig has him blocked. Gotcha. Chip calling in sounds like a good idea. How long does a Fisher Space Pen cartridge last you? I've never had to replace one. I've never had one run out. So, a long time. Craig versus Chip would make an epic live stream. Craig, can you repeat what kind of multi-tool knife that is again? This is a Victorinox, and the model is the Scientist. The Scientist. Okay, they're very rare. Sometimes they pop up on eBay. They usually sell for a couple $100 if they're in good shape. They're very rare. Scientist. Victorinox. It's a Swiss Army knife, right? Victorinox, Swiss Army knife. The model is the Scientist. Okay. God, when I was in Boy Scouts in the late 1980s and early 1990s, all the members of my troop tried to one-up each other with the biggest and thickest Army knife. Yeah, the Swiss Army knife. Yeah, I remember the Champ was the one to have. That was the one to have that had like everything, right? I have a Champ around here somewhere. And then they came out with a Super Champ, right? Assuming Chip is a real person, LOL. Lobbying for one more vote for Wrench Gang. I know Cheetown and Stiefel are my boys. Okay. Craig, would you trust Biden to handle the coronavirus crisis? Buserv. I don't trust any of these government folks to handle anything. I'm not a big government guy. I would just as soon, all of them just like go take a powder. I remember, wasn't it Reagan that said many, many years ago, I'm from the government and I'm here to help, right? Those are the worst words. Is that 5 words? I'm from the government. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. I guess that's 9 words. But anyway, that's the worst phrase you can ever hear, is that I'm from the government and I'm here to help. No, I really don't want them helping with anything. I think that they've demonstrated time and time again that they're not good at any of these kinds of things, and that they just make a mess and cause a lot of harm and a lot of anguish. And I'd rather that the government be very small and very weak, and that the people be strong. And a lot of people like the opposite. They like a very strong government and very weak people. So there you go. That's where we end up. Let's see. Personally, I wouldn't trust Biden to change the oil on my lawnmower. Durr says, I will vote for Triforce Rich, the mighty rat. How come millionaires spend their money on mischief instead of doing nice things? Can I get a millionaire to give me $5,000 so I can buy a blue Oyster Petrol 36? They wouldn't miss it, but it would change my life. Lewis R. Well, what would change your life even more, Lewis, is if you work really hard and become successful and you earn the money to buy the OP yourself. You'd really feel good about yourself and you'd feel good about the purchase. And when things are just given to you, trust me, it doesn't end well. A lot of people, like, for example, that win the lottery, they end up alcoholics and have all kinds of issues because they didn't earn the money. And they were just handed all this money, and they end up being a total mess. Lewis, Chip invested in Bitcoin early on and made millions, and he has too much time on his hands. He actually made a bunch of money listening to Craig's advice, ironically. Now, how did he make money listening to my advice? Did he buy Bitcoin because of me? Maybe he'll give me a cut. I'm going to go ahead and give Triforce Wrench a wrench. I'm going to take a chance here. People are vouching for him, so I'm going to go ahead and give him a wrench. I'm going to err on the side of giving him a wrench. So there you go. Triforce Rich has a wrench. Don't abuse that. Let's see. Good for Chip. He is bored. My offer stands. Craig, do you still have your Sabenza? I carry it all the time. It's on my belt. I carry it in a sheath on my belt. Yes, all the time. I love it. But I also carry the Scientist in my pocket. Is 2 words, Craig. Okay. After this week is more unique to not have a wrench at the moment. Okay, be a serve. He might change the oil in your neighbor's mower by mistake. Scientist link. Okay, so there's one on eBay, I guess. Let me tap on that and check it out. Let's check it out. I'm going to check it out on my iPad. Oh my gosh, they're asking $268. New. Oh, it's new in the box. No wonder. Yeah, they'll sell sometimes used for, $200 used. So yeah, I can see that. I can see why they're asking so much. Wise words, Craig. That is exactly what happened to Chip. He's turning into an alcoholic. No, he bought Bitcoin way back in the beginning, years before you. He made money on good investments and diversifying assets like you have recommended in some of your vids. Okay, there you go. Good. Well, if he bought it and held it, that's good. Most people didn't. Most people didn't hold it. I even sold some that I shouldn't have sold. So, yeah. That's the way that works. And so it's at $6,800 right now. We're going to wrap this puppy up, and we've been going for an hour and 20 minutes. Well, hour and 19 minutes, something like that. So let's see what else we got here before we wrap this up. They have a knife database. Okay. Yeah, the Scientist, they do pop up from time to time on eBay, but they rarely do they sell cheap unless they're really beat up. They might sell for like $75 or $100, but if they're beat up. The good ones are going to be well over $100, upwards to $200, has been my experience. I've watched them for a while. I have a saved search on them because I was actually going to buy one for Brianna. If I could stumble across one in really nice shape for a decent buy, I was going to snag one, but not so much luck yet. And then my buddy shows up with this one. This is kind of neat. She might actually like this one, this nice and trim one. I'll let her take a look when she comes by and see what she thinks about that. All right, we're going to wrap this puppy up. Again, thank you all for watching. Make sure you click subscribe, click the little bell so that you can get some notifications. And Lewis says, no worries, Craig. I'm from a strong working family with strong work ethic, but I wouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth from someone with too much money. There you go, Lewis in the house. Good night, all. Hope you and all your family stay safe. That's a good way to end it. Thanks again, everybody, for watching.